And now, your feature presentation. Okay, hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Cold Ho. Welcome back to the Cold Classic Podcast. As always, Cameron Jones here with my co-host,
Mark Nussle.
Jordan Jones.
Doing a little different this week. We're doing remotely. Hopefully you don't hear the difference because our technology is hopefully increasing over the years.
Why would we even peel the curtain back for them? Apologize for nothing.
Well, I'll fix it.
Answer in the comment section. All right,
If we sound a little distant, it's because we are.
It's because we're emotionally stunted.
Some of us are home for the holidays, and the others are stunted. We were a little short. We were busy this year. We had Jordan's wedding. There was a lot going on, so we only did 3 Christmas movies this year. But, we ended with 2 shebangs. We gave you Home Alone, and now we're finishing off with a 2003 movie, Love Actually. 9 intertwined stories examine the complexities of the one emotion that connects us all, love. From a young cheeky prime minister and his junior staffer, a married man tempted by his attractive new secretary, to an aging rocker trying to win his way back to the top. In this Christmas classic, we learn that love is all around us.
From the man that brought you so many romantic comedies, Richard Curtis brings you the ultimate romantic comedy. Hell, we're even setting it at Christmas.
I feel it in my fingers.
This is one of the first movies I remember at having a bunch of stars all together, and then a bunch of movies ran with it after the success of this.
This is a great example where Hollywood sees something that works and just can't match it.
Starring Bill Nighy, Colin Firth, Liam Neeson, Emma Thompson, Martin Freeman, Keira Knightley, Hugh Grant, Laura Linney, Thomas Brody Sangster, Alan Rickman, Billy Bob Thornton.
Love Actually has actually worked its way as a modern, just Christmas classic. Like, it is now perennial that a lot of people watch, which is more surprising because it's rated R.
It's got a little of something for everybody if you like romantic comedies. If you don't find a storyline in here that you like, you get fucked.
Love Actually is all around.
Love Actually.
All right, we've got...
Mark, I suggest you do this like an auctioneer since
yeah,
it's such a
and 35, 35, 30. We got Colin Firth coming down the line here, and Liam Neeson. This one is Love Actually, 2003, directed by Richard Curtis. He also directed About Time, which I like that one.
I actually kind of like
Rachel
that.
McAdams.
This is actually, I think, his directing debut, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
That's all I have to say.
He also wrote a couple other romantic comedies, Notting Hill, Bridget Jones's Diary.
Oh, some big ones then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. The music is by Craig Armstrong. You'll recognize his work from Moulin Rouge. Let's move on to the cast. We've got Bill Nighy, plays Billy Mack, great character. He's also in About Time, the Cornetto trilogy,
Shaun of the Dead,
Arthur Christmas. Colin Firth, he plays Uncle Jamie. Fucking hate Uncle Jamie.
The Gentleman. Yeah, I mean, he's popped up in a lot recently.
Uncle Jimmy.
The King's Speech.
I'd say the most underrated. We're a King's Speech fan.
King's Speech.
This podcast is. We really like that movie. What's interesting about him, and I won't do this for everybody, but this movie, like, he was already a working actor by this time, but he has had since this movie a later in his career renaissance, being like an A-list Oscar-nominated type Oscar.
Let's see. Moving on. Jamie's girlfriend, Sienna Gilroy. She's in the Resident Evil movies. Liam Neeson plays Daniel. Taken.
Straight Took In, obviously. I mean, The Grey.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Schindler's List.
The Phantom Menace. Batman Begins.
He's a great character actor, though, isn't he? But he became an action star so much later in his career. Like, when he was 60. He didn't make action movies before that.
Emma Thompson plays Karen.
Harry Potter 3 and beyond.
In the new Beauty and the Beast, she plays Mrs. Potts, Saving Mr. Banks. So she's got some Disney in her.
Shout out to one of my favorite movies, Stranger Than Fiction. She's the narrator author of it. It's a nice little whimsical movie starring Will Ferrell. Check it out.
Martin Freeman plays John. Like, all these names are going to mean nothing without describing who they are, but it's kind of hard
Martin
to.
Freeman, I mean, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, The Hobbit. I mean, he's
Bilbo
a huge star
Baggins.
now.
Yeah.
Sherlock.
He's also in the Cornetto trilogy.
He dipped his toes into the Cornetto trilogy. Go back and listen to our Cornetto trilogy.
I'm going to murder this name, but Chiwetel Ejiofor plays Peter. He's an American Gangster, 12 Years a Slave.
Again, like his career blossomed after, not, directly after this movie as a result, but so many of these people were, in my opinion, up and comers, and he was just another example.
Andrew Lincoln plays Mark. I know him from The Walking Dead. I really don't know him from much else. Keira Knightley plays Juliet.
I mean, Star Wars Phantom Menace once again. She was a kid actor, but she's pretty young in this one.
Pirates, Atonement, Pride and Prejudice. Hugh Grant plays the Prime Minister. What a stud Hugh Grant is.
I love me some Hugh Grant. Again, Notting Hill.
4 Weddings and a Funeral. Bridget Jones's.
4 Weddings and a Funeral. Bridget Jones's Diary.
You
Pretty
remember,
much every romantic comedy from 1999 to 2007 with British people.
Laura Linney plays Sarah. She's in Ozark. She was in The Truman Show. Sully. Little Young Sam is played by Thomas Brody Sangster.
He did do other things.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, there we go.
Nanny McPhee, The Queen's Gambit, Maze Runners.
A lot of things.
To name a few.
Oh, yeah, Queen's Gambit. I do remember him in that.
Yep. Alan Rickman plays Harry.
I mean,
Hans Gruber.
Hans Gruber's his most iconic role, but he is Severus Snape secondly.
I would say Snape
barely secondly.
Slightly ahead of Hans Gruber, but that's maybe just my age group.
Because that's what we prefer.
One of my favorite roles is Dogman when he plays the angel.
You can also see him in Robin Hood, Princess Thieves, playing Snape, but they just call him Sheriff Nottingham.
Right.
But he's just getting ready to play Snape. It's the role he was meant to play. And Dogma, yeah, shout out.
Heartthrob Rodrigo Santoro plays Carl.
Do I know him from anything else? He looks familiar.
He was in Lost, he's in Westworld, and he was in 300.
Lost.
Billy Bob Thornton plays the President of the United States, Friday Night Lights.
Never been a fan.
Armageddon.
I guess Cameron should. I mean, anybody wants to do it.
Hurt nobody.
I didn't mean to hurt nobody. You can eat them French fried taters.
Maybe most known for Mr. Woodcock.
Mr. Woodcock. Oh, yeah. I know that mainly as a preview on Shaun of the Dead DVD.
Oh, is it?
So we're kind of dropped off the deep end here into some sort of more cameo aspects of the movie. Rowan Atkinson.
I'd say just fire off then. Just let's
Rowan
go
Atkinson plays the jeweler, Mr. Bean. January Jones is in this movie for a second. Mad Men. Adam Godley is the teacher at the end who's singing with Joanna. Claudia Schiffer had a cameo in this movie. She was in Kingsman, Zoolander. She was like the yoga instructor in Richie
Claudia
Rich. Have to bring up Richie Rich any chance I get.
We'll never do it though for you. Just bring it up. It's just one big tease.
Shannon Elizabeth from American Pie is one of the girls. Denise Richards is one of the American girls.
Gals.
That's really about it.
This one's a pretty big cast, and almost everyone from it is a known name. So I mean, we don't need to go on forever on these people. You know who most of these people are
for sure.
Should we move it on to Unverified? Welcome to the Movie Phone and Cult Classics Podcast, Unverified. It's November 2003, and currently in theaters, you could have seen Bad Santa, also with Billy Bob Thornton. The Cat in the Hat with Mike Myers.
Son of a gun.
Sinbad, that animated one, though, not to get confused with the...
But not Road to El Dorado. It's Sinbad.
Wait, Shazam?
No.
That whole thing?
The one with not Matt Damon, Ben Affleck. Yep, Brad Pitt. We got there in the end. Master and Commander with Russell Crowe.
Really well-made movie. Super, super boring.
So I heard. Never got around to it. The Matrix Revolutions. We've come full circle.
Now we're back.
Matrix
now
coming
we're back.
out.
20 years later, and we're back.
And the forgettable Disney movie with a great Phil Collins soundtrack, Brother Bear.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Tarzan.
Nope.
Tell everybody I'm on my way. That's
the one. But you chose Love Actually. Welcome to Unverified.
Going off of that, I chose Unverified. This was the most rented DVD in the UK in 2004.
As it should have been. It's a great movie. Just the UK? You did not the US? What we have?
Options.
Probably not us.
Options. Cameron.
We had Brother Bear and Matrix Reloaded.
That's true. We had probably The Matrix beat it out. Because I feel like we rented this, but I don't remember it in theaters. So
I don't know if I've ever seen Brother Bear.
It's forgettable.
The budget was 40 to 45 million, and then it ended up making box office. I bet it'll be actually pretty low. No, it made like $246 million worldwide. But to your guys' point, it does feel like it exploded in movie rental, definitely back in the day, and then also syndication on TV, big time.
When did movie rentals stop? Like, when was the heyday for movie rental?
I'd say they died in 2011.
When casting the part for Sarah, the Laura Linney part, the casting person kept saying, "I just want someone like Laura Linney," and they couldn't get it until finally the casting director snapped and said, "Oh, for fuck's sake, then just get Laura Linney," and they did.
The lake which Aurelia and Colin Firth's character Jamie are swimming in was actually like an 18-inch deep pond, essentially, and it was just riddled with mosquitoes. I think it says here Colin Firth was badly bitten and his elbow swelled up to the size of an avocado, requiring medical attention.
What? Ooh. I guess we can all agree, though, that pond or lake, that is just some murky water.
Oh, murky. Terrible. When she jumped it, she's jumping in. Fuck.
Let the pages go.
They had to be on their knees and squatting down to make it look like they were swimming in that scene, which is crazy because it looked believable. And
I thought it did well.
How did they
she dives in there?
Yeah, how did they do that?
It's called a shallow dive. They taught it to us in swimming lessons.
They did that up. Along with the breaststroke.
I like this. All the airport footage at the beginning and the end is actual real footage. The writer and the director, Richard Curtis, had a team of camera people just camped out at Heathrow for a week. And then anytime they caught something touching on film, they would just rush up and try to get them to sign in. Be like, "Oh, is it cool if you guys are in this movie?" So all that footage is real.
I like that. That's such a heartwarming ending. Laura Linney said she wished that her character didn't pick up the phone while she's about to bang Carl.
Who doesn't? I hate that character.
What, Laura Linney? Everybody
I think she just wanted to bang Carl.
We all want to bang Carl.
It's going to be not a big talking point for me, but definitely something I'm going to bring up. So she's in agreement with everybody.
This is a really weird one. Apparently, knowing that Billy Bob Thornton has a weird fear of antique furniture, Hugh Grant would sometimes flash pieces of furniture at him because it's just abundant in England, and he would freak out.
What's the movie?
So this was just something that actors did to each other?
Yeah, he just, in real life, has a weird fear of antique furniture, and Hugh Grant would be like, "Oh, here's a chair." If they were walking around, because they were in, England, and there's a lot of old shit around. This one's kind of interesting. What would you think if this is a plot point? Rufus, the jewelry salesman, and the guy, and later with the ticket at the end of the movie, Rowan Atkinson, he was actually more involved in the movie, and he was supposed to be an angel that was going to be like connecting each of the plot points and kind of have a moment where he helped tip scales in their favor. So that's like why
I'm glad that didn't happen.
So that's like why he was trying to like hold up the jewelry sale like in the mall, and why he was like there blocking the airport to let the kid through. And apparently they filmed more, but it just didn't make it.
The only angel I like in a movie is
It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, I enjoy that.
Who and what's his name? Clarence. He just portrays an angel so well. I don't think a lot of people can pull that off. Like the
play simple that well.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I'm glad they didn't go that route.
Oh, also just on that, another plot point they dropped, which I'm glad they did. They were going to make Sam, the drummer kid, also be a gymnast.
Don't call him a drummer kid.
That's what he becomes
drummer
at the end.
boy,
the drummer
I believe,
boy.
for the season.
Well, they were going to make him a gymnast as well, so that daring run through Heathrow Airport, they actually filmed a bunch of like gymnastics parkour, but they played it to test audience, and they're like, "Well, this is stupid," so they just cut it to like all the shots of him just running.
If you can find a DVD, or I guess just go to YouTube, there's edited scenes, and it just looks ridiculous. It looks like a comedy.
Oh, do they have footage of it still somewhere? Nice.
Yeah, because he's like doing flips and jumping over the security guards, and it just plays weird.
This one's kind of fun. Chris Marshall, who goes to Wisconsin, he's the one he just wants to meet some American girls.
And he's got a big knob.
Returned his paycheck for the scene where 3 American girls undress him, and he said he had such a great time while having these girls undress him for like 21 takes that he's just willing to do it for free, and thus returned his check. That is crazy.
He should keep the check too, because then
he should keep the check. Yeah, it's a win-win.
This is one I found out a couple years ago, and since then it's kind of put a weird vibe on the film when I watch it. But despite their looks, Keira Knightley is 17 in this, and the person who plays Sam was 5 years younger than him.
So 12, right?
Sorry. Yeah, he was like, yeah, I think that's about right. He was 12 and she was like 17.
They always say women hit puberty before boys do, and this is maybe a grade A example.
The best.
Well, it's just funny because when I saw this movie, I'm like, oh, she's like in her 20s and an adult, but she was really like 2.5 years older than me, and right now she's still like 2.5 years older than me.
Yep.
And you guys are really like Sam's age, I suppose, when this movie came out.
True.
I guess Thomas, Sam's dad, Thomas Brody Sangster's dad, taught him how to play the drums. He didn't know how to play the drums, so I
never really paid attention or noticed this, but I guess I guess Emma Thompson's wearing a fat suit to the movie just to make her appear a little less attractive,
A little more frumpy.
Yeah, for the role, but because she's so thin, they padded her up.
I did read that, and it doesn't seem necessarily, and that's probably good that she's wearing a fat suit, because most of those times it's
egregious and
over the top and kind of not. It plays as mean rather than adding to the character. But
Right.
what do you think? Did she need it?
I mean, I didn't notice, so I guess
So it worked.
Yeah,
It's fine.
I guess
She did look frumpy, I suppose.
Lucia Moniz Aurelia got the part as a result of a joke by a friend of hers who was a casting director, who sent her photos in to this movie's casting director and ended up just getting the role kind of off of a prank, I guess. So that's kind of interesting.
I feel like every 3 movies we get one of those where someone's friend sent him in, or he was dating the blah 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 and was in the hallway kind of vibe. Those are always fun ones.
Now
I
you're
like
the
those.
Bachelorette.
The all-time one of those was Matthew McConaughey from Dazed and Confused. He was just at a bar and got drunk with the casting director, right? And now he's Matthew McConaughey.
True. This is the last one I have. This is just another drop plot line, but they did film a bunch of scenes. It was of the headmistress of the school, played by Anne Reed, and her dying lesbian partner, Frances de la Tour. And they had a whole plot point, but they cut that story out too.
I don't even know how you could fit in another storyline in this fucking movie.
Yeah, I know.
I have one more that's kind of interesting. The credits at the end of the movie incorrectly list Tessa Niles as the performer in the Christmas concert scene. Joanna does all of her own singing in All I Want for Christmas. But Richard Curtis, the director, thought it sounded too good, and so he edited it to sound more like a child singing.
And I still think it was good.
And I still think it's too good.
It was pretty fucking good.
I'd love to hear
It was
the
good
original.
enough to where before I heard that fact, I'm like, there's no way that kid is really singing. When I saw it originally, right?
I don't know a lot of her work, but she's still like an R&B singer to this day.
Nice.
Singer-songwriter.
This movie had a lot of facts, but it's hard to. There was a lot of garbage in there too. So if we missed a golden one, write it under the movie poster. You know what to do. We're gonna move on to questions.
Comments.
Animosities.
First thing, just comment. This is crazy. This Christmas movie's rated R. It has multiple nude scenes, has boobs. They dropped the F-bomb quite a bit. It's just crazy that this movie got in syndication. And granted, I know it's heavily edited, but just that this became a syndicated classic with just a rated R. rating. It's
I
crazy.
guess I definitely saw the tits. Where's the F-bombs?
I mean, Bill Nighy swears
I guess
a
they just
bunch.
come-
Everybody kind of
they
swears.
come off
There's a bit,
the tongue
actually.
of a British accent so easily. It just sounds sort of like part of their vernacular,
That's
I guess.
true.
They definitely swear past more F-bombs than the 3 that are allowed or whatever for PG-13.
Okay.
But
Well-
even with on top of that, just the regular talk is just pretty realistic and just offhand
Do you want
swears
to
here and there.
know?
It's crazy.
Okay, so I guess I didn't think it doesn't feel like a rated R movie, although I know there's boobs and swearing, but it's so lighthearted. It's surprising, but there wasn't to rewatch it for this pod. There wasn't anything streaming, so I just watched it on Freeform on demand. You know how most movies, when they edit for TV, will just redub over the swear word. It seems like they reshot scenes with PG-13 language.
Oh.
And then even on top of that, which is more crazy, rather than working around the couple that's nude in the photo, in whatever capacity they're stand-ins, they just cut them out of the movie entirely.
I heard that.
Think about how easy it would be for that, though. I mean, like, they're not in a lot of scenes with other characters. Like, easy peasy.
No, yeah, I know, but it's just weird. Normally you don't.
that whole plot point from the movie, and you wouldn't necessarily miss anything.
You know what, though? That's not unheard
I
of, though,
like it,
'cause
but you just wouldn't miss anything.
I know Shaun of the Dead has an edited version where instead of the F word, it's funky. So there's they have like funny bloopers
Really?
where they say the funky lines and stuff. Yeah.
I mean, whichever way you look at it, I think this movie's better as a rated R movie just because of the language and not necessarily the boobs. Those don't really do much, but Bill Nighy's character is so much funnier being able to swear. He just is.
I agree.
Do you think?
I
Do you
agree
think it? I guess here's a question, but do you think it sort of alienates an age group because it's rated R? And so I don't know, like
No, because there is such a good syndication edited version that takes like all that out.
I guess that's
that,
your point, right?
That's how
I mean,
it
the
became
real
that kind
thing
of.
is that initially it would have alienated the box office, but did they think they were going to have this mega hit? No. It's crazier, though, that it became not just a classic, but like a Christmas holiday family classic.
True.
With all, with some adult content. Oh, I should point out this. In the edited version, rather than swearing in front of the Prime Minister, she's like, I could have done something weird, like kissed you on the cheek, and she kisses on the cheek, and I'm like, that plays way different than swearing in front of him. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Anyway.
Weird. Just overall question, what is your favorite storyline out of the movie?
That was one of my biggest questions. That's a great question. Cameron, take it off. What's your favorite?
It might be the Liam Neeson and the son one. That one's just kind of the most heartwarming and innocent. It's also unrealistic, and some of their dialogue sucks, but like that has like one of the most rewarding outcomes in the end too.
It's not the most unrealistic, but it's still a good one.
It's a cute one.
I would say the most heartwarming one for sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
They sort of end the movie with it.
I want to say it's Bill Nighy's character.
Oh, that's true. That's
as
funny.
The aging rock star, but that's more just comic relief. I agree with you though, Cameron.
It's the most entertaining storyline.
Liam Neeson's is probably the most heartwarming, but for some reason, I'm torn between either, and I think it's because it's the two most romantic comedy-esque storylines. I'm torn between the author and Aurelia, even though I don't think that they should get together.
Right.
Or I kind of like the Prime Minister.
I think so. That's where I'm going. Hugh Grant is my favorite. I do think the most realistic one.
I think his is the best love story, actually. And as far as like just a couple one, his is the best rewarding love story in it.
This movie's kind of interesting in the fact that there's a lot of different types of love, right? So Billy Mack, he just wants to be with his friend at the end. There's that type of love. And then there's the tough love with Alan Rickman. And I actually really do like that whole plot.
It's an all-encompassing thing, and it's not just lovey-dovey each story. I agree.
Exactly. It shows different types of love and how it works out, and I don't know.
Or
also,
doesn't.
like on one note, it's kind of stereotypical the storylines they created, but I think they're nuanced enough with each little storyline that I don't know. It's a classic for a reason. You know, you want to watch it. There's so many other movies that try this that don't work. So,
and again, we're not trying to win Oscars here. This is a Christmas rom-com. Let's not try to take this too seriously, everybody.
They're giving us what us wants, and I mean, I know we say this all the time, but the score really moves you through it. It's so whimsical and light. And
off of that, though, I do have a
builds.
question, though, because I saw there are other movies like British productions I've seen since then that it seems like
Shout out Craig Armstrong.
It seems like this is a score that's been recycled through this film. Like this.
Sure, could be Bridget Jones. I don't know, but
I think
does it work? Hell yeah,
I think I've heard it a million times, but I love it.
This is in love in About Time. It has to be. It just is.
Yeah, I've heard it before, but I do love it. It works. That's why they keep
About
reusing
Time.
it.
Definitely don't like that movie as a whole, but man, that
I do. I don't know why.
story.
It's good father-son story.
Father-son story just works for me.
Another Bill Nighy one. Just off of my question before, what's your least favorite story, or what's like a storyline you think could be cut for time?
Not even close. It's Laura Linney's character. I absolutely hate that storyline.
I agree. I could cut that for time. I understand why they cut the Martin Freeman one. I mean, just because the crassness of it, but it is funny.
The Laura Linney one is just so frustrating. I think her character should. I mean, I'm not saying she has to end up with her coworker, but she's making it frustrating. She doesn't have to answer all her brother's calls.
Agreed.
And especially in where they're about to have sex, I'm like, this is on you, Laura Linney. It's endearing that she cares for her brother, but maybe it's because Laura Linney plays the type of character that ends up being a little annoying in a lot of movies. I'm just predispositioned to be annoyed by her, or I'm annoyed by her, and I don't like it. So that's my choice, okay?
Also, just animosity against that hospital. It seems like they should be able to monitor that brother's phone calls a little more to make sure it's not like
why does he have a cell phone?
Aggressive like that.
I'm not saying that we have One Flew Over the Cuckoo Nest situation. But civilization's bad, but don't let him call all the time. And definitely don't let him just wind up and hit twice, you know what I mean? Last thing I'll say about Laura Linney's character, it's not her fault that this is how the script is written, but how she keeps calling her brother, oh my darling.
That is my biggest animosity. My love, my darling, my dove. I hate it.
I can't take it.
Come on, guys. Have a
and
fucking
Carl's
heart.
Out of
It's
her
Christmas.
League. Carl's just out of her league, too.
Mark, I have 3 sisters. Do you know what they called me growing up? They called me boy. That was their term of endearment for me.
I'm just saying, Rodrigo Santoro, I'm not answering that phone for nothing. Those are. He's got a sweaty hog
he's
that just won't quit.
Exactly. That's why I'm so annoyed by her. It's just ignorant. It's so ignorant that she would do that.
No, I agree. That's actually the one I would have got
For
to.
me, it's
just the most frustrating.
It's the Mark Keira Knightley one. I don't like that. It just.
I get that.
Don't be weird with your friend and like don't be a fucking weirdo.
Or at least we could have taken another twist. We could have kept her in the movie, and it's just the new young love, a married couple. Maybe they're having issues, but the friend part is weird. Yeah, it is uncomfortable.
I would have rather them just end up together instead of this. Like that's all I needted. No, it's not, because you're still going to be fucking weird. She kissed you on the mouth.
He says weird stuff at the end, like enough. That's it. It ends now, or something weird like that. But yeah, agreed. It plays weird. Where when I watch it, I do almost want them to get together, even though I have nothing against the husband.
Yeah, that sucks about Peter. Sorry, Peter.
I don't want them to get together because it doesn't make sense. But now that you say it, I've never thought of this. Maybe it'd be more rewarding if they did. Except it was completely unrequited love. She just got married to his best friend. He's a creeper, albeit a DIYer. You got to give him that. I just spell so poorly. There's no way I could do that.
I will. Oh yeah, you can. You got to clip out magazines. It's gonna look like a murderer.
Oh yeah, I could definitely do a ransom note.
If they gave us more backstory, like that they all grew up together, and that like it was sort of like a just friend situation where they had
hinted
something.
at it, but they didn't. Well, they at least hinted that they were never friendly, but they didn't exactly go there. I get it.
So it's weird that if it was an entire movie just based off of those three storylines, that'd be super endearing, and those two should get together, maybe. But in this, where they're just 1/9 of a movie, you're like, what the fuck is this guy
and
doing?
not after the wedding, not after
creeper.
marriage, right? Like maybe it's a engagement photo shoot or something that makes it a little less
I
fucking
have two big
weird.
animosities about the whole wedding thing. We all grew up in this time. We messed around with early digital cameras that you could use at home. That guy's not getting that footage from the wedding from Keira Knightley that we've seen, and it's very edited, which is even more.
Oh yeah, he's been working on that.
I don't like that one.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. For a handheld camera, that is creepy good.
Plus, we saw him at the wedding. He wasn't like right in her face. He was in the corners being all
and not
weird.
all of that footage is from the wedding.
Everybody's like, geez, you're being weird.
Seems like he's just like
sorry, was that
triple wheeling on some of these dates. Like, not all that's from the wedding.
It didn't feel like it. Yeah, he was way on the send.
A lot of this seems to be from the bushes out our window.
Right, exactly.
Just comment, just romantic. I like the idea of typing something out on a typewriter, but just with my spelling, I could never do it. I need autocorrect. I need the internet to help me along the way.
I'm trying to think what movie it is that reminds me of that, but like
The Shining.
You have to like double hit almost each letter to make sure it's dark enough or printed enough. I'm trying to think.
From a romantic standpoint, I would love to just type anything on a typewriter, but I can't. I won't be able to. Unless I just did my name and really nailed it. I could see myself messing up Jordan Jones.
Yeah, you put it in the paper at the wrong spot and it just types in the middle and you're like, shit.
Jordan doesn't have a Y? Son of a
There goes this
bitch.
piece of paper.
Oh, you're good stationary.
I'd say that his storyline, the best friend has aged the worst, that the internet has roasted, that he's a toxic male. Well, but just he is.
Well, it is funny
whatever.
that his storyline stands out as like one of the most iconic scenes from this movie, that when people do the imagery, it's the card scene.
The cards.
Oh, 100%.
It's kind of funny.
Here's a big fucking animosity about the card scene. What if Peter just comes out like, oh, carolers, love carolers. Coming out.
He'll never come out. Everyone knows how much he hates
la
carolers.
la 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 la. Mark?
Well, what a boyfriend. I mean, the whole scene probably took a minute and a half, but she leaves the apartment and goes and kisses him. Keira Knightley does. What's the husband even doing? He's like, where'd you go? How long have you been gone? What's going on?
Also, just like, it will clearly sound like,
man.
They have like a whole music, like they have music accompaniment, and like it sounds clearly like a song and not
like a recording. Yeah, like.
Do you want to know what storyline, to kind of piggyback off this, that aged a lot weirder, that in today's standards didn't seem like a big deal back in the day? It's really Alan Rickman's character. It's not that he's just cheating with a coworker. It's how he pushes Laura Linney's character to date somebody else in the office, and he's their boss.
Yeah, that's always been weird.
He's like, you love him, don't you? Aren't you gonna marry him and have babies? That
Little
just
out of
plays
line, for sure.
different today than it did in 2000.
You know what? Just an overall animosity I kind of have is just Alan Rickman's character is really cheeky and he's fun in this movie and he's likable. And I just kind of hate that his character is so dickish because it seems like he's cutting loose in this one.
I see what you're saying. I was about to say he's just really not likable though.
At the beginning he's cheeky and he's fun. But I wish we could have made Alan Rickman a likable character in this one.
But I absolutely hate his character, and it's outside of Laura Linney it's just so sad. It's just
I have one that might be able to top that though. Animosity. I hate the depiction of Billy Bob Thornton as the president. It gives me the willies. I don't like it at all.
I get what they're doing. They're trying to make him a Bill Clinton.
Yeah, they're making him a cowboy. Right? I get it.
He's just too strong. And you know what really, really annoys me about their character choice with him? It's the ties they put him in. They're so not presidential. They have like a purple flashy tie.
So what is
that?
That's maybe 2003. Because even in that wedding scene, Peter's wearing like a magenta, like a undershirt and a magenta tie. It's like that's just so not what you would be wearing at a wedding. And then like you're saying, like he's wearing like a yellow tie or a purple tie, whatever it is.
You got two options.
Like our president wears like the same thing.
I think that means he's like a socialist or like a libertarian or something like that. He's not.
Now all tie colors do have a cause.
I'll just even extend that to just the American girls. Everyone has just like a weird bad Southern accent, and I get it. They're accentuating it, but
the movie's a little long.
It is.
Oh, for sure.
This movie could be an hour and 50 minutes, and it's 2:20.
You could cut scenes. I mean, in all honesty,
you could probably just end it with the Christmas pageant. I think.
That wouldn't be terrible. Sure. Well, you got to fit in the. Well, no, you don't need the airport scene.
You don't even have to go to the airport. Yeah, it's just like
we can skip that.
I mean, maybe syndication has it right. You probably just cut one of the storylines of your choosing.
Well, I think,
and that's the all honesty.
Like we said in Unverified, I think it actually got cut down from like a 3-hour movie to what we see now.
Because there's already two storylines at least we know of that they cut out.
Yeah, exactly. So
at that Christmas pageant, pretty big animosity. Why is there a kid with Spider-Man paint face in the Christmas pageant?
It seems like the Brits just let it ride. They combined 3 schools together.
Like I read off the list, but there wasn't a Spider-Man out that year, was there? I mean, it was big still, but
2003. Did Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man not come out like right around then?
I mean, I'm sure we were around, in between or going on with them.
Yeah, this would have been like between his first and second one, probably for sure, because it was 2003. Okay, so I have overall, this used to be a big Christmas classic for me that I watched perennially, but then I kind of got bored of it, and it could have been the runtime. I don't know. It doesn't help. And I hadn't watched it. For a few years. In a weird way, I kind of replaced it by like The Holiday, maybe because it's easier to watch. But rewatching it this time for the podcast, it reminded me, this is a really touching, warm, light movie that I enjoy.
It's charming. It's heartwarming.
Will I watch it next year for Christmas?
It's more Christmassy than Four Christmases, but it's way less Christmassy than like Home Alone or Santa Claus or like it. I think you said this kind of off air, Jordan, but you could listen to this podcast in July, but I could also probably just watch Love Actually in like July.
Because really, it's just a rom-com.
That's true. Yeah. I'd say it's more romantic comedy than a Christmas movie. But I will say this: I like a rom-com set at Christmas. It turns out, and the Hallmark Channel is like, "Oh, do you?" Because we'll do nothing but that all year.
And then Disney Channel's like, "Hey, we heard a little rumor from Hallmark that you guys like doing
oh, you liked Boyfriend for
Netflix,
Christmas."
Hulu, and Amazon's like, everybody in the pool. Okay, I got rapid fire animosities for how bad of a prime minister Hugh Grant.
Shoot him off.
The speech calling us bullies, that is going to backfire maybe later that day.
Filled up.
Real bad call. Very reactionary from his girlfriend getting hit on. 2, firing his someone he has a crush on. He's like, you got to get rid of her just because I don't like her. Really unprofessional. But
he did that because like, you better get rid of her because I'm going to bone her in the Oval Office version of Prime Minister's office.
This is a sexual harassment case just waiting to happen.
Okay, so maybe that was forward thinking. I'll take that as a pro and not a con against him. But the biggest con is that after he received Natalie's letter where she's like, I love you, blah, 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 XOXO, he had his private driver drive him and go door to door? You're the goddamn prime minister.
Even
She probably had to
even.
Well, she worked for you, so you
it makes
definitely
for a good
have
scene,
her records.
but that he couldn't have any more forward thinking to find her in a different way. Don't they have whatever, like MI6 or something? Get her fucking address.
It's not even that hard.
Get
She
her phone
worked in
number.
that. She worked for you.
Yeah,
like
she's on
you have her
payroll.
information. Yeah, like it's very easy to find.
She's got a billing address. What are we talking about here?
She even said she was living with her parents all the time. Like, it's ignorant. I think he's nothing but garbage. He's not going to be up for re-election. I can't believe it's come to this.
His
I think
policies
he's a real
are
bad
all
prime
off.
minister. Just red flag after red flag of ignorance. Yes, it was fun to see him dance throughout whatever they
Trigger
call
down
it.
on verified. Hugh Grant hated
Yes.
that scene because he thought a prime minister would never do that.
Well, there's also
I agree.
There's also a deep run verified, which I feel like the actual prime minister was like, you know, in like a speech after he met with like George Bush was like, now I'll think you want me to pull like a Hugh Grant in Love Actually right now, but turns out there's a tomorrow and a next day in real life, and you actually have to keep some like relationships. I don't know. There's a whole thing that he like brought up Love Actually, which is kind of interesting.
That's crazy.
So they all recognize it was just politically horrible tactics.
Yeah.
And the hammer's going to come down
Billy
like
Bob Thornton.
thunder on
Yeah.
you.
I have
friends.
a few things to talk about with the school pageant. Should we start with the fact
Go
that
on.
Sam learns the drums in maybe a week?
Oh, I did want to ask you guys that. Is he a savant level like Smalls is from...
Yeah, kind of.
like Smalls is...
He's not playing anything
Like
super complex, but like the fact that he went from not knowing the drums to being able to play that song in like a week is crazy.
But he's doing more than just the beat. He makes a couple runs in there.
Yeah, he has some fills here and there, but it's mostly just like a
fills.
like it's a Wi-Fi.
As a
mode.
kid who's learned a couple instruments growing up, like I feel like as a parent, the last instrument I want my kid to be like involved in is the fucking drums. Like a drum set. Could you imagine getting like an 8-year-old
dude.
a fucking drum
Never.
set and him just wailing on that thing like Animal from fucking, was it Sesame Street, Muppets?
And if I'm Liam Neeson
Muppets.
and I found out there are
Muppets.
background dancers that we could have silently been training for in your room, I'm going to be so mad.
Guys, those background dancers, I didn't
Bring
know
it.
who was going to bring them up. I will say this about the background dancers of the pageant. They're the most believable school pageant background dancers I've ever
True.
seen. They did not get professionals.
They
at
go
all.
to that school.
They got me and you that lived in Britain at the time. They're like, you guys dance? It's like, not really. It's like, come on, we'll get you some costumes. It was very realistic.
Kind of like on that, just animosity or just kind of just weird comment.
Hold on. Before we move on, could that kid have learned drums that much in 2 weeks?
No.
I don't think so,
No,
right?
not at all.
It's impossible, right? Unless
I don't
he
think
is
it's
a savant.
impossible, but we're talking about little fucking Sam
We're talking about
here.
love, Jordan.
Yeah, we're talking about
Well,
love.
I get it. I'd say you're more just ignoring the fact that your mom's dead, but whatever you're into, you know.
Yeah, you can really dive into something hard when your mom passes.
Well, also just animosity going off that, though. Like, it's kind of weird how much of this pageant is really kind of focusing on this one girl's ability to sing.
Oh, you mean the most talented person in 3 schools are not going to give a lot of action to?
Yeah, that's
Cameron?
true. You're right.
I mean, her talent was, she's the most talented person in that shitty part of town.
And it seems like she's flying to America
Soho.
for tour.
yeah, and then all the parents from the kids were like, you didn't tell me the prime minister was going to be there.
Another bad just prime minister move. Like, she is just on him like a bunch. Then at the airport at the end, just making out with him. Like, any politician, I don't want to see that. Keep it classy.
Oh, I hate that. That guy doesn't come in and out of the airport like a common folk.
Well,
Like you said,
He may not have Air Force One, but he plies.
Jordan, like you
private
said,
for crying
not
out
up for re-election.
No, he's a fucking idiot.
Or maybe that's why that's a year later.
Scandal
and he's
after
no
scandal.
longer. That's it. He's no longer the prime minister. It's 1 year later. It's next Christmas, and he's a regular guy.
I'm picturing that guy went to the U.S. and bought a coach ticket. He's like, oh, what? You guys can get me a plane? Holy shit.
Turns out he was grab
He's an
ass and
idiot.
his mistress at a K through 12 Christmas pageant.
Okay, either this is great by their Secret Service or bad, but she runs in and almost tackles him, and nobody stopped her at the airport.
I mean, the year before, Sam just gets through, and nowadays he just would be shot. Same thing. Just
Yeah, well,
security's
hold
loose
on.
there.
We talk.
No, I'm saying she gets to the prime minister of their
That's
country.
true. Yeah, but she's in the detail.
Cameron,
Okay,
to
okay.
your point a little bit there, they talk about 9/11 at the start of the movie, the Twin Towers.
Oh, that's true. So security
Shocking,
would have
by the
already
way.
been.
But
oh,
This is post.
You're
This
right.
is 03.
that's what I'm saying. Come on, Sam. Like, post 9/11, you're going to pull a stunt like this? Like, welcome to the no-fly list.
true.
Yeah, Sam is never going to get to go to America to see what's her name because he can't.
See,
ever
like,
fly
Cameron,
there
you're
now.
not right. He might have gotten shot, rubber bullet or not. He's going down.
Also, they're not just letting him go there at the end like that. Like he's getting dragged into a facility.
Oh, he's in love. Sorry.
Oh, we didn't know. Well, we still beat him on the way here.
This actually made me think. I assume that Sam has no aunts and uncles. We see that he has grandparents at the funeral, but is it kind of weird that he ends up living with Liam Neeson? I don't know how long he was his stepdad for, but...
No, it happens in Dexter season 4.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a
if
good
you're playing
point.
along at home, Cameron just brought up Dexter. He is rewatching
I'm on
it.
season 6.
Maybe
I'm also
Sam's
on
doing
episode 12 of 30 Rock, season 1.
Hey, 30 Rock's not too bad, is it?
Maybe Sam is doing it for Liam Neeson. Just he wants
The
to stick around for
distraction.
Liam. Yeah, because Liam's going through some tough times.
Nah, he meets Claudia
death of
Schiffer
his
at the end.
wife.
He's fine. We find out a year later he's shacking up with someone else, and now Sam has a brother.
Speaking of sort of what we find
Does
out
that
at the
mean
end,
Sam's
some
dad
ti-
is dead too? That he doesn't, or just out of the picture?
Well,
You think Sam's terrified to die at 32? Since both of his parents died before he was like 10?
Yeah, that's
Of
tough.
separate
Well,
causes?
he does look frail, like he
tough.
could have some sort of heart condition.
He does look really frail. I didn't even think about that. Where's
question
Sam's
here.
family?
Have you guys heard
Sorry,
of Red? No. Have you guys heard of Red Nose Day? Red Nose
No.
Day.
Yeah, we do it here, right, at CVS's?
Son, what are you pulling a bit here? You doing a buffet of bits?
No, isn't it like the Patch Adams shit? Like you can buy a red nose and give to like cancer relief?
No, maybe. Well, actually,
Isn't
that may be a thing. But it's a sequel they did for this movie where they tied all the loose ends. It was like a TV short. It came out in 2017, and they pretty much told you where everybody else is at. Emma Thompson wasn't a part of it since Alan Rickman passed before the little short came out. So she's like, I don't want to be a part of it if he can't. But they tied all the loose ends up.
Aw, the worst thing
I
is
didn't
that's
know
like
that,
the
but I
biggest
kinda wanna
tight end
see
I
it.
would want to. They're the biggest thing I would want to figure out. Is how's the
Well,
relationship?
you were a big tight end in high school, weren't you? So I haven't seen it either, but I went on to read that Peter and Juliet are still happily married, and Marcus just
They seem
being
like they
less
would
of a
be.
weirdo.
Oh no, it's still in there.
Yeah, he's still.
You don't do that. You don't do that
Cut
to
to him-
your best friend on Christmas Eve for
Cut to
crying
him
out
just
loud.
filming someone else, and it's the plot of You now on Netflix.
Right. He's just Joe Goldberg. Well, how they end the scene with him, right? He's like, "That's enough," and then in the sequel, it's like, "For now."
But I'll say this: even though it was a weird move, nobody in 2003 thought it was creepy.
Not as.
I don't know if they thought it was romantic, but it was something. Nobody's like, this guy's a murderer, but now we all are like, this guy might be a murderer.
You guys ever? Here's a good question. You guys ever just have a good cry to Joni Mitchell? Me too.
I did after this movie have like a Joni Mitchell phase like 2 Christmases ago, but
Yeah, Cameron was telling me to go through Joni. I mean, I listened to a lot of
just
depressing
the
sad
sound,
music, but I don't
just
think
the album that was used in this movie.
He's doing laundry. Get out!
Happiness and lonely
Yeah, that song got a few plays last Christmas.
when it rains.
Should we try to undertake the daunting recasting?
Let's try to do it. Yeah, let's try.
Mark, I think it's going to be you and me kicking this off. You know what? Just list whoever we have. No, there's no real lead character, so it doesn't really matter. Let's kick it off with Keira Knightley. Who'd you have as her?
Keira Knightley, Juliet. I'd put Daisy Ridley.
Okay. Yeah, it looks alike. That
Yep.
totally makes sense to me. I did Emma Watson.
Oh, nice. I like that. I like both.
Yeah, both those work for me. How about Mark? He's the one that does the cards. We'll just kind of keep it maybe in their vicinity. Did you do him? The dude
I
from
did.
Walking
Mark
Dead?
does the cards. I did Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, okay. I'm fine with that.
So
he's been growing on me over the years.
What's funny in this one, like, I'm gonna run the gamut on just a lot of British actors that I know. So we're gonna have a lot of different recastings than we're used to, but they're pretty much gonna be all English and British. So, Cameron, who'd you have?
Nice. Tom Hiddleston, because he's uncomfortable and awkward, and he would lean into
Love
that.
it. Do Peter, the boyfriend of the motherfucker of this love triangle, or the husband, I guess.
The husband? I actually didn't
I
do
did
him.
John
Who'd you have?
Boyega, the new Star Wars.
Oh, nice.
I think he'd be good.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Let's just kind of keep going through. Did you do Just Judy? I didn't do Just Judy.
I actually missed her, but I did do Martin.
I did
do
as
the
well.
male counterpart.
Simon Pegg. Yeah.
Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
I will say this, though. What do you think of this, though? I did also throw Simon Pegg as the Atkinson one, as the jeweler, as like that angel guy who's just kind of aloof and causing delays.
Why do I want
He'd lead into
I want
it.
the other
That'd be
guy
fine.
for the jeweler. For the Cornetto guy. And the shot of the
Nick Frost?
Nick Frost, that'd be fun.
I actually put Nick Frost as the
engineer.
manager to
Yes.
Bill Nighy.
Okay. So
Who'd you have as the manager?
I did Rob Reiner.
Ooh,
Spinal
I'm with
Tap,
that.
like
I'm fine.
the
For the manager, that works for me.
And so right off the bat, let's just go Christopher Guest. I'm sorry, Billy Mack there. I did Christopher Guest.
Okay. Fun and kooky. I like that.
I'm trying to think
This
of
is
who
an
else could
interesting
do
one.
something like Bill Nighy, but that's as close as I could get.
I don't like mine. I'm going out on a limb here, but Hugh Laurie House, he is British, and he actually is kind of funny and cheeky in a lot of interviews I see him in, but he usually plays a stern character.
Can I give you
because
a
he played
non-Brit
House.
and let them maybe do an accent, but I it's more the lanky aspect and his own timing? This is a Jeff Goldblum role.
Ooh, that's
I actually
pretty
love
good.
that, and I don't think it needs to be an English accent necessarily.
I mean, we could just do current Johnny Depp. He's pretty kooky and does accents
Cameron,
anyway.
let's move on to Alan Rickman. That's where I had my Hugh Laurie.
Okay, I'm with that.
Alan Rickman.
Harry.
Ooh, I might have accidentally missed it. It looks like I don't have it. Sorry.
No, that's
a good
fine.
one, though.
That Hugh Laurie one's good. Plus, he also.
I don't love it, but
So
No, I'm saying for as Alan Rickman.
yeah.
His character.
oh, that works a little better.
I'm thinking of
It looks
House.
a lot better.
Is all I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Let's do Karen.
Maybe Benedict Cumberbatch there. Actually, I'll throw him in.
Oh, that wouldn't be bad either. Yeah.
Let's do Karen. His wife, Emma Thompson.
Kate Winslet. Get her from a cameo in the
that's
Titanic
good.
to just a straight up role.
She belongs in this movie
She
too.
does.
Yeah, that works.
She's in this movie somewhere. It's not there for me, but I put Natasha Richardson. She's the mom from the Lindsay Lohan Parent Trap.
Oh, they actually.
I thought
used to be
I
the
thought
same
that was
person.
Emma Thompson. To be honest.
Yeah, they're very similar. Yeah, I get that. In fact, I'm all for that.
Cool.
Nice.
Let's do Daniel, Liam Neeson's character.
I actually like mine. Sean Bean.
I did Daniel
Ooh,
Craig.
that's good. Ooh, that's good
Daniel
too.
Craig works for me.
Both are good.
Actually, that works for me pretty
I
well.
feel like
too.
Okay,
I
I got
feel like
one.
Liam
Just to
Neeson,
get
Daniel
Jordan.
Craig, and Sean Bean are maybe like the same kind of guy. I don't know. Like they could easily play anything.
A lot of the same
taken.
roles. Those are all- yeah.
yeah.
I'll throw mine in the mix because I don't think this one's bad. Colin Farrell.
Yeah,
That's not
yeah,
bad.
Yeah.
He seems like a stepdad
There you
too.
go, Jordan.
Hey, thanks.
Let's do Jamie, Colin Firth's character.
I like this one. I did Damian Lewis. He's the redhead from Band of Brothers. He's like the main character, kind of. I'm trying to think of other things you would. Yeah,
I came across him, and I
really,
wasn't sure if I wanted him there, but I love that.
Thank you.
I
thank
actually
you.
got. I think
He's a really good actor, and I always want to put him places, but I just kind of
I
forget.
think I got a better one. From
What
About
do you got?
Time, Domhnall Gleeson, the redhead. That's also.
Yes.
Ooh, that's
I mean,
good.
they
I was
used
thinking
him
about
later
putting
was that
him
just
on,
on
off
but
the?
that's perfect.
Was that just
role.
off the dome?
Yeah, I mean, he seems like he could play a writer
That's good. I
and
went.
get cheated on.
I went Bridesmaids. Chris O'Dowd.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
That works.
Ooh,
for
I like
sure.
Chris O'Dowd a
I
lot.
forgot about
He.
it.
Get,
Ooh, I would make. You know what? I would actually put Chris O'Dowd as Colin because he's got a big knob.
He'd be funny as that character. Too.
oh, let's
That'd
go to
actually be
him.
really
Let's go to
good
him.
for
I think I have him.
I actually didn't, so that's who I'm
I
putting
did
there.
Eddie
Redmayne?
Redmayne.
Yeah, he's not.
I'm not a
funny
huge
enough.
fan of him either, but
I thought about putting him somewhere, but I didn't. He's the boyfriend that sleeps with Colin Firth's wife
Oh, you mean his,
or the brother.
his brother?
Yeah,
let's
that's
do
unlikable.
Sarah and Colin. No, Sarah and Carl.
I do have a Sarah. I've had this the whole time. This is the only one I wrote down.
That was my Kate Winslet.
Oh,
Oh, okay, that's where you put
Yeah.
her.
I like
Nice,
Kate
nice, nice.
Winslet, so I picked somebody that I also don't like for this role because I don't like the character. I just went Sarah Paulson. She's American.
Oh, you know what? I actually did Sarah Paulson because I know you don't like both of these actresses. So I was like, who's someone Jordan doesn't like? I'm like, Sarah Paulson will probably get his vote.
That's it. That's the only one I knew that I would do. I would stick with. They just play unlikable characters.
No, I got the same one, so I'm with you.
Okay, cool.
The last person I have is the Prime Minister. So, Mark, did you have any other people I can try to go off the dome?
Aurelia. I have the President. I have Mia.
Ooh, Aurelia. I'm gonna go. Oh my God, I'm spacing on her name from Knives Out in the new Bond movie.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm gonna do Ana de Armas for Aurelia.
Fuck. That's a great. That beats me. I did. Paz Vega. She's the love interest in Spanglish.
Oh, nice.
Shout out to Spanglish.
I like that too.
Good movie.
I love Ana de Armas.
I'm just I'm in love with Ana de Armas right now, so that's just can't go wrong.
We didn't do Carl. I did Orlando Bloom, some sort of sexy motherfucker.
Oh, Carl. I didn't have Carl. Who's the kid from Narnia 2? Prince Caspian. I'm putting Prince Caspian there.
Okay.
Mia, the receptionist, Emily Blunt. I don't know.
Oh, that's good actually.
Kate Beckinsale, off the top of my head.
I like
Nice,
Emily
love
Blunt
that.
better.
And
you know what's weird?
It seems like she wouldn't be as much a homewrecker.
She's a real bad character.
Prime Minister, I did Jude Law.
I did Jude Law too.
Ooh,
It's a Jude Law.
That's the last one I actually.
We were doing the holiday,
That's
but
the last one I had written down.
That's the Jude Law character.
That's still.
It has to be
good
charming. It has to be someone like up at that charming level as Hugh Grant.
Mm-hmm.
Little Sam added little Daniel Radcliffe, maybe.
I like.
Don't hate that. I would do that kid from from Finding Neverland, who I forget his name. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to Mount Rushmore.
Top four.
Top four.
Mount Rushmore. Top four.
All right, welcome to Mount Rushmore Top 4. Thanks for sticking around till the end. We didn't pick a Christmas category. We didn't pick a romantic comedy category. In honor, not necessarily of this character, we're doing fictional presidents in movies because Billy Bob Thornton plays a fictional president of movies. I won paper, rock, scissors, so I get to go first.
I'll tell you what, Billy Bob Thornton is so unlikable in this movie that we're finding our favorite fictional presidents now to cleanse our palates.
We're giving you great examples after just seeing one of the biggest missteps in casting in years. I'm doing Bill Pullman, Independence Day.
Ooh, that was in my top 3, so I can't
good.
hate on that.
He's got the speech.
Give me a little bit of the
Kills
speech.
aliens.
Give me a little bit.
Because today is our Independence Day. I don't have a moment of the speech.
So does this mean I can't do Bill Pullman from Independence Day 2?
If you've seen the movie, I wouldn't say that on a podcast. No, yeah, you can do that. Is he still the president?
I don't think so.
Is he
I
the
think
president or is he the former president?
I think he's former
Well,
president.
that's funny. Like a lot of these, you look up and they're like, "Well, he just filled in for the president. He's the acting president."
Yeah, you get a lot of those. Mark, you're number 2. Who's your favorite fake president?
Adeline, get off my plane. It's
Love it.
Harrison
Love
Ford.
it.
You know what? That was my number 1. My 1 and 2 are gone. I can't hate either of those answers.
It's Harrison Ford. Get off my fucking plane.
We got to do that. We got to do Air Force One someday.
What I love about Harrison Ford is that my shitty Adeline impression that doesn't exist in the movie at all has become this podcast's impersonation.
Adeline. Turns out it's just Harrison Ford being like, I need to land my fucking plane. And he still can't do that.
So I'm finding that a lot of my presidents here are going to... okay, so fine, fuck it. I'm doing... Bruce Greenwood from National Treasure 2. He plays the president in that one scene. He's just like a fine, smooth, kind of younger president.
That's a great pick, dude. I really love that.
What I wanted to do as a trick, though, was do Robin Williams at Night at the Museum, but he is playing a real president. But the fact that he's fake, he's a fake wax person. He's not really the president, so it almost worked.
He tried to split the jury.
But which gets me to the next part. Who is our number 4? Who are some honorable mentions for you guys?
Can I throw out one of my... We've done this movie, and it just is... It wouldn't have been something I thought of before we did the movie, but Jack Nicholson in Mars Attacks. That's up there.
I thought about Aaron Eckhart with the whole White House or the Olympus Has Fallen series, but it's not. I don't. He's too young. It's
so
he
the
needs to be
yin to your
more
yang there
stoic.
is Morgan Freeman in The Angel Has Fallen, Olympus Has Fallen. He played.
I do like Morgan Freeman more
president.
as a president.
Yeah.
Also,
True.
Morgan Freeman in Deep Impact. It almost seems like we should just throw Morgan Freeman up there. I think that Danny Glover plays it in either San Andreas or one of those movies.
Day After Tomorrow, maybe. Yeah, it's one of them. Yeah, I can't remember which exactly.
Hold up. Look, it says Sharknado. Oh, hell no. Mark Cuban plays the president.
I don't like
Nice.
that.
Good for him.
There's a.
I know it's not a movie, but we just have to make an honorable mention to Martin Sheen in West Wing. I mean, he may be the best fictional president of all TV and cinema.
Danny Glover does 2012.
Oh, 2012. That's pretty much San Andreas.
Not quite the list, but just to give out also some shout outs. Josh Brolin for W, Daniel Day-Lewis for Lincoln, and Greg Kinnear for that JFK thing. Oh, and then John Adams, of course, with, I just spaced on his name. Paul Giamatti. With Paul Giamatti also with the John Adams series. Just good depictions of real presidents.
You know what?
Leslie Nielsen in Scary Movie 3.
Ooh, that's fun. That's fun. That makes the list. That's an honorable mention for a list. That Kennedy series with Greg Kinnear, it's okay.
Oh, I heard good things.
I mean, you're never going to watch it. There's too many TV options now.
True. There are a lot of good options out there for TV or movies, so let us know some of your favorite fictitious presidents on TV and movies. But thanks for listening to our take on Love Actually. If you like what you heard, make sure you like and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. And as always, we're just a grassroots small podcast. We don't pay for any advertising, so the only way we can grow is through your kind recommendations. So if you have friends or family that you think would like our little movie club, make sure you let them know about it. You can find us at Cult Classics Pod on social media, and you can write in your movie request at cultclassicspodcast@gmail.com. We'll check you next week, guys.
Bye.